Provenance, noun, the place where something originally comes from. Welcome back to Provenance. We're back on my art inventory system, and I don't think I mentioned the name of the system that I actually use, but I use a system called ArtLogic, and it's made by a bunch of very nice English people over there in England. So I'm going to look for this piece actually today. So it says MIT Accordion Book 2014, and MIT is the Media Lab, or MIT. What does MIT stand for? Massachusetts Institute of Technology? Possibly. So, okay, so this is 0805. Let's see what the location is. Storage location C1 box D. C1 box D. Okay, here comes box D. And lucky for me, this is going to be an easy one because I can see it already right here. Okay, bam. So 0805. And I think I'm going to pull a chair up for this one. So let's put this down here. Getting ready for surgery, for examining. Gloves are good to wear for stuff, but it always feels a little bit awkward, but that's good. Better to be safe. Okay, so we got this knife out. Let's open up. So this is poly that is really good for preserving and packing artwork in. So I use this on canvases and books and many things. So this is a 4mm poly that is a really great asset for you to have as an artist. I don't think I need to open up both of these. We can just open up the bottom there and slide that out. Fantastic. Something also, a little tip here, is these are called courtesy tabs. So now there is no excuse not to do courtesy tabs. So whenever you use tape, tuck under the end bit so that the next person who is going to unpack it has a much easier time to pull that tape off. Now I don't have to really try and find the edge or the corner of that tape because someone has been courteous and have made a little courtesy tab. So I love those. Unpack. Love courtesy tabs. Okay, so now I'm going to sit down a little bit. Okay, so let's open this up. Oh yeah, haven't seen this in a while. So I don't think this had a real title or real name apart from MIT Accordion Book, which is more descriptive of what this is. So MIT is where it was made and Accordion Book is what it is. But actually what this is, it's a Japanese accordion fold-out book that I got this when I was visiting Japan, I think back in 2012, and I went to a stationery shop and I found these beautiful green accordion books and I wanted it to be black, so I brought it home, and if you look really closely here you can see it's all textured and it has this beautiful pattern on. So all of this was green, and so I took one of my big ink pens and I covered it all with black ink just to make this, give it a different look. And if I open this up, each page has a sheet of glassine, and what this does is it protects the pages from, the ink from bleeding into each other. So there's probably going to be a sheet of this between every single page. So let's maybe take all the glassine out first so that we can get a proper look. So over time with inks, there are chemical reactions. Ink is always chemically acting or reacting to the air or to the surface that it's on. And just to be safe, protect it over the years, it's good to put a little barrier there so that there aren't any future reactions that are a little bit of a surprise to you. I have drawings from years ago that I didn't do something like this with, and they gas. You know, the ink is chemically reacting and can gas, it gives off gas, and then the whole drawing becomes yellow or something like that. I'll find one of those eventually and show you one of those. So let's take out each of these layers of glassine. I'm not really looking at the drawing as I do this, I'm just taking these out, but I'm excited to look back at this drawing. There we go, that looks like the end. So let me just get rid of these so I have a bit more room. See it? So as I said, this is an accordion book, so it has that great accordion feature of being able to fold out. It's quite a lot of pages actually, more than I remember. So I have no idea how long this is, but at some point I should probably measure it just for my own records. And actually let's just probably jump a few pages at a time. So this is the beginning. It starts with these stick figures all helping each other out to reach the top. And at the top, you get to look down and see the whole story, the bigger picture. So we've got faces, we've got birds, which represent freedom. Pulling, this stick figure is trying to hold the structural integrity of this drawing. You've got these trees, which are also like train tracks. You've got the word now, about being present, about being here. Let's jump a couple more pages. I'm trying not to let it collapse on me here. Let me put that down. So there's often words, and these words for me mean the same thing or as much as the lines do. And so let's see if I can read these words upside down. We see, we can be, don't turn, your kin, save your stranger, save your next door neighbor, your next door neighbor, save your skin, save your trees, save more bees. So when I'm writing something like that, I'm not thinking about what I'm writing. It's just the words are unfolding, the words are flowing like a drawing. So sometimes they make sense, sometimes they don't make sense. So it's also nice to feel the texture of the paper. The texture is actually really thick and not that shiny. So it means that it's quite an absorbent paper. So when I was drawing, I'm sure it would have felt like the paper was absorbing the pen. Are you who? See the sea. Are you who? See the sea. So there's lots of questions in here. These stick figures still on this journey, this path of life, trying to figure out the right directions, the way to go, how to find the sun. No one else I wish to be. We're always trying to be someone else or something else or somewhere else. But sometimes that's a nice thing to say to yourself. There's no one else I could be. There's no one else I would wish to be. Okay. And it goes on and on and on and on. I'd really love to know how long this is. I love this big face here that's taken up pretty much the whole of this 2 pages here. Some more words. Run, jump, skip, don't trip. And it's almost like they're building these landscapes, they're building these faces. And so I like the idea that these faces are potentially people. You know, these faces are potentially people, or these faces could be constructed. They could be monuments created by these stick figures in the drawing. And then it looks like we're coming to the end, or coming to the conclusion. And right at the end, it simply says, be you, NYC. And I remember drawing this at MIT at the Media Lab. So in 2014, I was a visiting scholar at MIT in the Media Lab. And essentially, I was able to do what I want and collaborate with who I wanted and create work that I wanted. And When I drew this, I was very much interested about the speed of drawing and how fast I drew with different thicknesses of pens. And so there were experiments that I did where I took different sizes of pens and worked out the amount of time it took to draw them and the distance that I could draw in that amount of time. And so with this pen, off the top of my head, I think I was drawing at an average of 4.5 seconds per inch. And I would have timed this and perhaps filmed this. We'll look into the video archive to see if we can find some footage of me drawing this. I might have put a GoPro on the camera. I might have, I might not, but we'll look for that footage. But what I was interested in when I was drawing this was that idea about time and that idea about distance. And that's why an accordion book seemed like the best medium for the job. And then right at the end there, it finishes with a Shantell Martin. And you can see before when I was saying that the paper feels textured, it feels absorbent, and you can see that by the beginning of these T's and the beginning of this I, the beginning of this M. You can see that that first moment where I put the pen down, it's almost bleeding or leaking into the paper. It's absorbing really quickly. So I love those signs there where it, you know, the medium or the canvas or what you're drawing on really almost collaborate with you too. Okay, so let's fold this up carefully. Very delicate as well. Okay, fantastic. So this is MIT Accordion Book 0805.